here at Ron Costello Oval in beautiful Shellharbour on Father's Day for this grand final qualifier in Group 7 between the Shellharbour Sharks and the Jamberoo Superoos. I'm Corey Hammond. With me today, Courtney Ward for the call, and we'll have our first grand finalists this afternoon. Two sides that, well, I don't think many can question, have been the two form sides, or the most consistent sides over the 18 rounds.
Absolutely, Corey. These two sides have been the benchmark this year, and well-deserved. One of them will go into the grand final this week, and then the loser will obviously get a chance next week to go into grand final again.
And yesterday we saw Gerringong eliminated Kiama, awaiting the loser of this game in the preliminary final. 16-12, they were victors there. Cameron Vizola, the man of the match. He was super impressive. Now let's go through the sides. First for the Sharks, at the back it's Tamari Ulakita, Jamie McAlone, DJ Harris, Dante Efaremo, Jai Brooker, the centre and wing combinations. The half, Sam Clune and Matt Carroll is the captain. Jubilee Samu and Kieran Tranter and Matt Coltman are the front row. Max Wilson, Wade Aiken, Jack Kavanagh the back row. Nick Greenhall, Liam Ryan, Dane Zablowski and Abe Atala. The coaches are Atala. We'll get you, Courtney, to go through the Jamberoo side.
So Kurt Fields at the back, Benny Bardard and Dil Kapana on the wings, Jake Clark and Simon Maslenka in the centres, Mark Asquith and John O'Dallas at the halves, Brendan Smith and Matt Webster. The props with Brock Skelly at the 9, then your back row is James Gilmore, Corey Grigg, and Dookie Asquith is the lock with James Asquith, Kyle Stone, Kieran Pearce and Dean Watling on the bench. But what I think the key here is the two halves. You look at the two, you've got Sammy Clune and Matt Carroll, a fantastic combination. Obviously, premiership winners last year. And then you've got Mark Asquith and John O'Dallas are as good as... They just work together well. Like, Jono's the orchestrator and Mark Asquith sort of just plays that as he sees.
He certainly does. Mark Asquith scoring 2 tries last week, and then before that, back-to-back hat-tricks. He's in a rich vein of try-scoring form as John O'Dallas leads the Superoos out on the Ron Costello Oval. A small contingent of Superoos supporters today. And the Sharks, no doubt, will be looking for a lift from their home ground advantage. And certainly the crowd that has come out today in force. It's a beautiful day for rugby league and Father's Day, of course. So a happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there. I know mine sitting probably on the couch, cracking a couple of cold ones in beautiful Young at the moment.
Watching the Raiders?
Well, he's a Canterbury fan, so...
Oh, so not the Raiders.
Yeah, so... But nevertheless, happy Father's Day to you, Dad, as the Superoos await the Sharks to come out on to Ron Costello Oval. I'll get a tip from you, Courtney.
If you'd asked me early in the year, I think I would have tipped Shellharbour because Jamberoo hadn't won here since 2014, but they broke that hoodoo earlier in the year, and I just... All the week I've had a bit of a hunch that I think it's Jamberoo's going to get up. I just think there's danger, weapons all across the park. Like, you look at their centres, Maslenka and Jake Clark are arguably the best centre combination in the comp. Obviously, you mentioned the halves before. Dil Kapan on one wing, like Benny Barnard on the other. There's just weapons all over it, and I love Kurt Field at the back. And I think Brock Skelly, the two former Sharks players, you got obviously Kurt Field and Skelly, both played for the Sharks numerous times. I think they're probably the keys. You got the 1 and the 9. A lot of what they do comes off the back of Skelly either straightening up the defence or coming out of the dummy half. So I think the Roos by 4. What's your call?
Yeah, I like the Sharks. I just think that they've been ticking along nicely, and you look at their impressive record. They've won 8 of their last 9. They sat just off the leading pack, and like a good thoroughbred just in the home straight, they've just timed their run to perfection. They've got past the bell tower at Flemington. They're coming home with a wet sail, and I just got a feeling that the Sharks are ready for finals football. We know how good they can be at this time of year.
Absolutely. Do you think the fact that they haven't played footy in 3 weeks is going to come back to haunt them?
Look, there is that old adage that the lack of football, the breaks, getting the week off affects teams, but it can affect them in different ways.
Yep.
I mean, it could have a good effect. It could have a bad effect. We're not going to find out until the 80th minute when we find out whether they're in a grand final or not. But I don't think that'll faze the Sharks. They've been there, done that before.
Well, they did it last year. I think they played, obviously, the week off. A week off last year in the week 1. Obviously won this corresponding fixture, had week 3 off, and then obviously won the competition. So they're well adverse to playing with those big breaks. And here come the Sharks onto the field now, led by Matty Carroll. And this is his first game back since obviously winning that suspension charge.
Massive game for Matt Carroll. He'll be looking to really lead his side today, and I notice a little bit of gamesmanship by the Shellharbour side, leaving Jamberoo out in the middle. And we're going to have a moment of silence, it looks like. So we are 80 minutes away from finding out our first grand finalist for 2019. Kiama making it to the preliminary final. They'll await the loser. John O'Dallas won the toss earlier, and he's elected to run left to right on your screen. Bailey Warren is the man with the whistle. A young referee bound for big things, that's for sure. Doing some great stuff.
Absolutely. He's one of the most promising referees, obviously, in the group, and he's been rewarded with the biggest game of the season thus far.
So Carroll with the ball on the tee. We are just about set here at Ron Costello Oval. There's the signal. Carroll gets us underway. Awkward kickoff. Asquith takes it. Jamberoo, a big tackle coming in. That was a big one from Effa.
He just lined him up there and chopped him right in half, and Sharks right on the ascent from the first whistle.
So Skelly awaits, and now it is Big Webster with a strong charge. Well, the Sharks were looking to make a statement. The Roos will be looking to bounce back through Corey Grigg as he takes the ball to within 9 of halfway. Nice conditions for rugby league this afternoon.
You couldn't ask for better conditions, Corey, really.
Absolutely. Luke Asquith now over halfway for the Superoos. Skelly awaiting at dummy half. Dallas now with the high kick. Down to the fullback, and Yulakita does well. And he'll play it 19 out from his own line.
You've got to watch this one. Jamie McElhone, I think he's the most dangerous winger on the comp. And if he gets a yard of space, he's the quickest guy in the group, and it's good night. No one's catching him. Yeah,
McElhone with 12 tries from 11 games. He will be pivotal. And an early penalty to the Sharks. Effa, well, he's made a statement in defence, and he's proving a handful with the ball in hand.
Well, he's making a statement with those boots as well, Corey. Look how bloody bright they are.
Typical centre winger boots, aren't they? All flashy.
Oh. Well, he's living up to it now with a great run, and obviously that ball and all tackle to start the game.
And Samu really making a statement with that charge. They drive him backwards. He'll play it. Gilmore making the tackle 35 metres out as they go to Carroll, and their leader, he goes further afield to Clune, who throws the dummy and almost gets through. An important tackle coming in from Corey Grigg, who's quick out of marker. They try to shut the play down, an offload there, and it was well taken by Coltman. 25 metres out as they go to the left. Clune looks out there, throws a couple of dummies, and again another hit up for Clune. He gets a quick play the ball as well. And here come the Sharks. Carroll with a cutout. Effaramo, we've seen him already. He's prominent in the first couple of minutes, and he's brought down 5 metres out. A real chance for the Sharks to open the scoring here in the grand final qualifier as Carroll throws a big cutout to Clune. It goes to the boot of Clune. He's looking for his winger, who comes up, takes it, juggles it, knocks it on.
Geez, Jai Brooker came from nowhere. And it looked like Benny Barno was destined to get that ball, but Brooker's come from nowhere and nearly acrobatically caught that for the first try, but not to be, and Jamberoo get the ball in their own 10.
Yeah, quite fortunate with the call here to play it on the 10. Could have easily been out to the 20. It was borderline whether the error was in goal or not, as we see the Sharks with some big defence.
They're really aiming up, haven't they? Like a couple of big hits in the first couple of sets. And
Webster!
You see Juvelli fucking line him up there, didn't you?
Samu with a big hit. Skelly throwing the dummy. Oh, flat pass at best to Asquith, who gets out of one tackle, and they look to promote the football out to this right edge for Gilmore out there. So they make it to within 12 of halfway. Acting half is Asquith. He goes further into Luke Asquith, who's within a couple of metres of halfway on the last. So they get out of trouble here, Jamberoo. Dallas looking for another high kick. And this one again, straight down to the winger, and it'll be there.
Jai Brooker on the far side.
Playing on the right wing.
He's obviously missed a lot of football this year. He injured his hammy earlier in the season and been in and out of first grade this year, but one of the best finishers in the comp. Like if he gets some space down the edge, you'll see him fly with one hand and score from out of bounds for sure. Another penalty.
Yep. Too long in the tackle on DJ Harris.
And Dallas didn't like it, but discipline. Like the Sharks get another chance down the Superoos end. Piggyback from back-to-back penalties there.
So the Sharks with another chance. They're getting a good look at the Superoos here. How long will their defence hold out? Certainly the Sharks, they've got attacking weapons all over the park. And now Carroll, the second receiver. Quick hands. It's out there to the man, McAlone. McAlone cuts back in. And he's brought down just by Webster in cover. So Effaramo at acting half. They go back there, and it's further afield now to Clune. Clune with the big cutout. That's a beautiful ball to Brooker. And now it's in fact Harris. Harris is brought down 2 metres out.
How good was that tackle out there by Jake Clark? Like they were odds to score there, and Clark's brought down DJ Harris, who's one of the most powerful centres in the competition for sure.
So the Sharks, a couple of early warning shots. Can they make it count? They go back and a flick ball out the back from Ulakita. It didn't hit the mark, and now the Sharks have to go back. Was it forward? Question marks on it. Told to play on. The kick going through, looking for a repeat set, and they'll get it as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of calls around that pass could have been forward there, but Superoos thankfully stayed switched on, because obviously Shellharbour never gave up on the play. Now they're a repeat set, and yeah, the Sharks are... They'd have the running for the first 5. You think Superoos haven't even been really down that end, whereas all the play's been down right in front of us, Corey. Yeah,
they started slow last week, the Superoos, but you don't want to let a side like the Sharks get a head start. So Kurt Field from underneath his own posts drives it straight down the centre, and here come the Sharks again. Another attacking set. I'm sure too many for John O'Dallas's liking as they head back towards the right, up to the 20. So no score in this grand final qualifier. We've had just on 7 minutes in this game. Carroll throwing the dummy and almost the fend, almost through. So close there. Now Tranter goes the open side, and they go through the hands. It's Ulakita who goes short. Effaramo, but it is an obstruction.
You see Wolfson got caught there, and obviously Tam ran behind him, and yeah, but the Superoos hang on just again, like they're very desperate in defence, obviously.
Yep, that's certainly pleasing for John O'Dallas to know that his men are up for the challenge as the ball comes our way in the commentary box there from John O'Dallas. So Skelly takes the tap, and here come the Superoos with Gilmore. Good metres, up to within 15 of halfway. They've been camped down here for, well, basically the entire match thus far. Skelly goes left. Field looming on the inside. Was he taken without the football? He certainly was. That's the call from Bailey Warren.
They tried to preempt that Kurt Field was going to get it there, and another penalty for Superoos back-to-back, and this is Superoos' best chance to put points on the board early. It's taken 7.5 minutes, but they'll get a chance now.
That they will. So Skelly, Webster. Short side they go, and almost getting away there was Clark. Big chance for the Superoos. Asquith at first receiver to Dallas, who tucks it under the wing, gets the defence interested, quick hands, Maslenka out to Kapan, and he throws it back inside. They'll get another set here.
How was the catch by Kapan? He caught it sort of with one hand on his body and, acrobatically got it back inside to Maslenka, nearly, and they nearly opened their account, but they got a repeat set there, so more pressure for the Sharks.
Beautiful interchange of passing, and John O'Dallas just got the defence interested.
He straightened them up there, didn't he? You could see he obviously got 2 or 3 there, hit it out to the back, and then they had an overlap there, and the Sharks really scrambled well to sort of prevent them scoring that close touchline down there. But, another chance here for the Superoos.
Straight down the fairway with that drop out, and it's back to Webster. Oh, big hit coming in. They lined him up. Aitken was in there. Now Luke Asquith to Dallas. Going outright again. Dummy from Asquith. And he gets up and goes again. Told to play on almost. Well, he's told to go back. I don't know whether he was held.
I don't think he was either. But the Sharks sort of expected him to play the ball there, and they weren't holding him down, so called back to play it.
So Gilmore with it. The Superoos, they're fanned out to the left. Skelly. Long ball, Dallas. He cuts out Grigg and goes to Clark, and he turns his winger on the inside, but it was Barnard who couldn't handle the heat.
There's a bit of a hospital ball there by Clark to Barnard, because Barnard was just lined up there, and I know what they were trying to do, but there's probably a bit too much pressure there on Barnard.
So both sides with some early chances, but unlike yesterday's game, we don't have a score in the first 10 minutes. What a crazy start yesterday. Try and basically both sides' first set of the game. But
then it dried up, didn't it, Hammer? Like, you had all these points early, and then for the next 60, there was no points whatsoever. So, bit of a contrast. Obviously, no points early, but I think once one team scores here...
Well, we talk about a hospital ball, Courtney Ward. That was, I certainly think, in the podium.
Absolutely. You can see Jay Clark was just waiting for him to catch it and just whacked him. So now Superoos get another chance. Like, they've had 3 great chances in the last 5 minutes, so... They'll be really hoping to get the first points on the board here. And I think once one team scores, I think there's probably a bit of nerves because obviously the winner goes into the grand final. I think once one team scores, the game will open up a bit and you will see a lot more points and probably more creativity. Wouldn't you think, Hammer?
Look, I certainly think so. It's a little bit of nerves, a little bit of feeling each other out. And here go the Superoos. I thought that maybe they'll look to go out to Mark Asquith out the back, but instead it's Maslenka to play it 31 metres out. Now it's Gilmore, busy opening for James Gilmore, the right edge back rower. Now Skelly awaits, he looks out to his left, and that's where they go. Asquith out the back again to Dallas, who fires a ball out to Clark, and Clark tries to get rid of DJ Harris, but DJ Harris showing him the sideline, almost roping him over. So the Superoos, they reset. Skelly, Dallas, here's Asquith. Maslenka turned on the inside. It'll be hard to stop. And they eventually bring him to a grinding halt. Only a metre out, Skelly. Little kick, rolling it into the end goal, and it'll be a repeat set.
That was a great kick by Skelly. I think everyone expected him to pass it out to Dallas there, but just a deft little touch off that left boot and caught him off guard. And they're probably lucky that Tam saw that for the Sharks there, because otherwise... It was probably try time for the Superoos.
Yeah, Tam Ulakita, good positional play.
Here with Superoos, after withstanding that opening 10 minutes of just defence, they've had the weight of possession in the last 4 or 5 minutes. So, big chance here. A great run there by Webster.
Putting a good opening shift is Webster. So Skelly jumps out, goes to field, quick hands to Grigg. He wants a try, and he's only 5 metres short. So field back to Webster. I say, go on, son, have another run, but that's going to be a penalty the other way to the Sharks.
What was that penalty for, you reckon, Corey?
Incorrect play the ball, perhaps?
That's right, I reckon. There's nothing else it probably could be, and that really relieves them of all that pressure they were building, and now the Sharks get a chance to work it out of their own end. It looks like the first sub, looks like Kyle Stone's come on, and he's been fantastic. He's the second leading try scorer from a bench back rower, which is just unheard of, Corey, isn't it?
It really is. Can sniff out a try, can't he?
Especially when he plays both in the middle and on the edge. Like, versatile, obviously came across from Rilla this year. Obviously had a couple of games for first grade last year, but this has been his breakout season, and he's one of the best young forwards in the competition, and I'm really excited to see what impact he has on the game.
So that was a good, strong charge by Wilson just before there. That's really got the Sharks right on the front foot. And Carroll looking to cash in with a kick towards the corner, and it's Field that comes across and makes sure that he picks the ball up and will start the set 10 metres out from his own line.
It looks like Webster's off and Stone is on, so Stone's going for a shift in the middle, it looks like.
And the Superoos 19 out from their own line as they look to get out of their own danger zone through Skelly, who I think wanted to pass to the short side but didn't like his options, so he went himself. That's
another penalty.
That was a good carry from Barnard, getting his side out of trouble.
And no mucking about there with Dallas, just wanted to kick it straight away and before the Sharks get a chance to set their line.
0-0 the score, 14 minutes gone in the grand final qualifier.
How good's that first run by Kyle Stone? Just come on, he's a man mountain.
He'll play it 20 metres out. Talk about getting your side on the front foot. Now Asquith. 15 away. Skelly wants someone to come under, instead goes to Dallas. They go further afield out there to Asquith. Short ball to Malenka, and Maslanka will play it.
They look super dangerous when you obviously had Asquith sweeping off Dallas there, don't they?
They certainly do. As Gilmore having to catch that awkward pass. And now Skelly fires that out to Dallas. Dallas looks to his inside. He goes out to field. Did he run around a player there? He gives himself up in any event, and he'll play the ball 12 metres out. Last tackle here for the Superoos, looking for the first try. And there's the ball rolled into the end goal. Knocked on, was it by the Sharks? No, knocked back is the call.
I think you'll find an accidental offside there by the Superoos. I think it was Dookie Asquith running through and accidental offside, so Superoos get another one. There's been a fair few penalties the last couple of minutes.
And that touch finder doesn't really make too much ground, but...
Do you think it's because the wind's picked up in the last probably 5 minutes, Corey, going from left to right?
Yeah, slight breeze here. Slight breeze, which may be a factor. Maybe blowing to the west a little, and the Sharks obviously running to the east in this first half.
Well, the Superoos want to get points if the breeze is going to keep picking up as the match goes on.
So the Sharks 10 short of halfway after getting that penalty. They go to Effaramo. Effaramo outside Maslanka, and Maslanka sticks to the task and makes a good tackle.
The Sharks made their first sub. Dane Soblowski's just come on.
Now Carroll sweeping past to Clune, and Clune another cutout ball. And Harris was under all sorts of pressure. We've seen a couple of hospital balls already as both sides just really feel each other out. Now Carroll coming up with an absolute shocker.
How good's Jake Clark been? He's the one who hit DJ Harris, stayed with it, and he's the one who forced the error by Matt Carroll with that pressure. Because Sammy Clune wanted to kick it. He had too much pressure on, and I think Jake Clark's the last couple of minutes by him has just been fantastic. And you talk about those hospital balls, it's because Jake Clark's reading it perfectly on that left edge for Superoos.
So Asquith to Gilmore to Maslanka, and this running battle with Effaramo, and now Effaramo with a good tackle. And appealing for a penalty, but I reckon that Maslanka's holding down Effaramo there. So told to play it eventually back to Gilmore. Gilmore to Asquith, who had to sort of reach out and latch onto that ball. It wasn't the best service, but Skelly now, he gets out of dummy half, gets away from the markers and looks to skip away. He makes an easy 10 metres. The Sharks were slow to get off the line there. Another chance for the Superoos as they rumble forward, and now it's Stone. Stone, good post-contact meters there. 9 metres out, the Superoos. Hot on attack. They've got the momentum with them. Can they capitalise? Dallas goes high. He's looking for Kapan, who gets a good jump. Kapan comes down with it, but he can't get the ball away. The Sharks have done remarkably well.
That was a great take by Kapan. He obviously waited for it perfectly, but great defence out there by the Sharks. Didn't let him get the offload, and there's some guys waiting, and they've caught it back there.
False start.
Big set here come from the Sharks. They have to work it out of their own end. It's a great run by Sobluski there.
Fresh onto the field. The Sharks and the Superoos, 0-0. The winner goes through to the grand final. And they get the week off, and they get to watch Kiama and the loser of this game bash it out next week. That one at Cesc Glen Holmes Oval in Warilla. Looking forward to that one. Certainly will be an absolute bottler regardless of who Kiama plays. And they're going for 8 wins in a row. But here the Sharks, they sense an opportunity. And here comes Ulakita, backing up like any good fullback does. And now he'll play it 30 metres out after getting tackled. The Sharks, they're dangerous here. Carroll, he looks out to his winger there, and he's got a try-scoring whiz there, and he can't come up with the ball. So McAlone couldn't make the most of that Carroll kick. Jamberoo get away through Kapan.
Oh, they do. There's a great run by Kieran Tranter. He's been fantastic from them this year. Another sub here for the Superoos. Obviously, your mate Kieran Pearce is coming on, and it looks like Brendan Smith has come off of the Superoos. They've used the 2 subs.
Watch for him to really provide some spark up the middle here for the Superoos, Kieran Pearce.
Well, that's a great stint by Brendan Smith, to get through the first 20 minutes, and he's been fantastic.
Now Skelly jumps out and throws a ball to Dallas, and Dallas quick hands to Grigg, and Grigg gets it to Clark. Clark fends away from one, and he submits to the tackle 40 metres out. Here come the Superoos again, 5th and last. Dallas gives the ball plenty of altitude. Tester here, well done from Ulakita. And he almost gets away from the tackle as well.
Well, it must be a game plan there to try and put the ball up and force him to take it on the fly. But he's been up to the task so far, Tam. He's been fantastic. 2 or 3 really strong takes from some real high balls in that swirling wind. And, yeah, great start for him.
So fast boots, Effaramo plays it, and they go down to the short side, the Sharks. They've had a little bit of success down this edge. No doubt, I'm sure they'll ask plenty of questions as the afternoon goes on, as they again make some good inroads up the middle. Maybe the Superoos tiring. It is a warm day here at Ron Costello Oval, and they make some more metres up the middle. It's Samu. Samu's got support, and Carroll, who gets there a little too late. Samu goes down with the ball. 5th and last here. It goes to Clune. Clune looking to go through the hands. Perfect ball to Harris. Great hands out there, but what's the call?
I think try time.
What's the call? They like it. Yep. It is a try.
Yep.
The Sharks score, and it is out there, Jai Brooker.
That was all set up by that run by Juvelli and through the middle. And if he'd just seen Carroll there, Carroll could have scored, but then Sammy Clune did that perfectly. Hit DJ Harris with the cutout ball, and Brooker did the rest. I told you, Brooker's one of the best finishers in the competition. Did that with ease, just planting it down with the one hand. And, yeah, just when you think the Superoos were getting on top, the Sharks score against the run of play, and it's 4-0 after 21 minutes.
I don't know about did it with ease, but he made it look easy. That's for sure. Jai Brooker had a lot of work to do and did it magnificently, and may have just copped a knock for his troubles as well, just having a look in the corner to see who was down. It is Brooker, the try scorer. What an effort. I was slightly obstructed and wasn't sure whether he'd gone into touch first, but the touch judges and referee right on the spot, and they were happy enough with Brooker's finish. 4-0. Again, you mentioned against the run of play, but they're really starting to make some inroads up the middle, and Jubilee Samu with a great run.
Well, I think that's where you think in probably the next 18 minutes obviously to go in the half. I think you'll see your Brock Skellys. Obviously, Jimmy Asquith will probably come on for Brock Skelly soon for the Superoos, and your Kieran Trantars. A lot of those guys will be scooting out of dummy halves, and with those tiring forwards, you'll see a couple of breaks, because obviously now the game's opening up a little bit. First points of the game, and I think, there'll be a lot more. Because speaking of Abatala earlier in the week, he thought through the middle is where the game's going to be won. Obviously, he thought it was probably going to be a bit wetter than it is today. It's obviously perfect conditions out there. But, through the middle, obviously both teams have got some real point scorers on the edge. But if the hookers can get the momentum going through that middle section of the park, it's going to. Both teams are in a great position there.
So Matt Carroll with the ball on the tee on the southern touchline. He's 22 metres back, looking to extend the advantage for the Sharks. And like last week, Jamberoo conceding first points. Carroll moves in. He's got the distance. He keeps it low in the breeze, but it's wide. And no goal. 4-0 the score remains.
That's a tough kick from out there, Corey. Obviously from the side. I mean, kicking straight into the wind there. So he tried to keep it low, but push it across the face. And 4-0 after 23 minutes.
Work to do for the Superoos. Field to kick off. Just lets the breeze take that and all the way into the in goals. He barely touched that off the boot, and it flew. Now the Sharks, after points, looking to complete and maybe looking for a penalty. Of course, the Sharks, this is our first look at them in the final series. Getting last week off. They're refreshed and certainly fatigue shouldn't be an issue today.
No, we'll have 3 weeks off, and I think that's why this is probably the strongest Sharks side we've seen in a long time. Obviously, Abertaler's back. He's obviously had some back issues, and he's played minimal games this year, but he's a big inclusion. You'll probably see him in the back half of the second half come on in that middle section or on the edge and add some grunt into that forward pack.
So Clune with a nice bit of play. He gets an offload away and sweeps to the left and puts a nice kick into the corner. He'll look for touch. That's the perfect set after points for the Sharks.
Oh, fantastic. And we talked about that, the halves from both sides. Like Sammy Clune is just orchestrating it perfectly. Obviously, Matty Carroll's been great, but I just think you can just see how good Sammy Clune is at 6. Obviously, he played a bit of 1 this year, but I think he's best suited to 6 and arguably the best 6 in the competition. So, the Superoos here working out their own end, and Jimmy Asquith's about to come on for Brock Skelly, it seems.
So Asquith to feed the scrum. Kapan waiting for the ball on the open side of the field, and that's the way they go. So the right winger looking for a hit up, looking for a taste of the action. He'll play it 15 metres out. Skelly wanted a penalty. It wasn't forthcoming. So the Roos are left to work it out of their own end. That's Barnard playing it. Kieran Pearce. Oh, and he's upended. Samu. What a 5 or 10 minute period he's having. In fact, it wasn't Samu, it was Kavanagh.
Yeah, great hit by Kavanagh. Like, pound for pound, one of the best forwards in the competition. And if he can just control his sort of temper, which he's sort of been known for, and just play footy, he is fantastic and hits hard as any player in the competition.
So Skelly, a little heads-up kick there, and back there now for Ulakita. Ulakita dances, skips. There's not much of him, but he's dangerous if you give him a sniff. 21 metres out, he'll play the ball. And so now it's there in the 2 jersey, McAlone. Yet to really see him unleashed this afternoon, but watch out when we do. Now Fast Boots Ephraimo getting out of
Fast
acting
boots.
half.
You've just nicknamed for the Flash Boots, Corey.
So now Clune showing at the line again.
He's been fantastic for them today.
Now they go to the short side, and the kick coming through there from Tranter, and it's easy pickings there for Field. Field, though, they try to drive him back, but good show of strength there. Tranter with the tackle. Now it's Barnard. Gets away from 1. He gets away from 2. He sticks the big fend out. Gets away from a 3rd, and then 3 of them come in there, but a good run by Barnard. 11 short of halfway. 14 minutes left until halftime in the grand final qualifier. And it's Pearce for the Superoos to play. He gets a quick play the ball. That's exactly what Skelly wanted. He throws a wide ball to Mark Asquith. He goes short to Maslenka. They've worked an overlap. Maslenka, he now gives it to Kapan. Kapan 1-on-1. A big tackle coming in from Ulakita. Saved a certain try. Still on. Skelly, a big ball over the top for Dallas. He goes wide to Field. Field straightens up. Quick hands. Superoos looking to go in the corner, and they will. What a try by Jamberoo.
End-to-end action there for the Superoos.
And Barnard finishes it.
Oh, no. Oh, they got it. No. They've caught a penalty there. No try.
Well, I'd love to see the replay. We don't have that benefit, but...
So they've called the no try, but a penalty to the Superoos.
So no advantage. I suspect they were perhaps offside. That's what the penalty might have been for us. Pearce throws the dummy. He had no one beside him. The defence knew what he was doing.
They're going back. How good was that ball and all tackle by Tam on Kapan there? It looked like for sure he was going to score, but ball and all and stopped a certain try.
So Dallas turns it into Asquith, and now they go back to the short side, and Field tried to catch them napping. A metre out. Still in search of their first points. They thought they might have had it there, and so we certainly did in the commentary box too, but they're still on the attack. Skelly awaits. Ball out in front of Dallas. He goes further afield to Asquith, and now Gilmore turning it on the inside. A nice offload there to Dallas. He goes further afield to Asquith. It might have even been Grigg. It was Grigg. Short kick in from Skelly, and now the Sharks get into the field of play. How did they manage to get out of that and get a penalty as well?
I don't know. They've got their lucky stars there. Look, that was a nice little kick through, but they read it perfectly, and now they've got a penalty, and all that pressure that Superoos were building there, where they look like they actually scored their first try through Benny Barnard, is off the hook now, and there isn't a player down. It's definitely a Sharks player. Can you see who it is, Corey?
No, just slightly obstructed there by the trainer.
But both teams are sucking it in now. Like the last 10 minutes has been end-to-end, so it's going to be a very exciting final 12 minutes of this first half.
He's up, whoever it is, just trying to get a number. It's Clune, I think.
Yeah, Sammy Clune, it looks like.
Clune. So... they desperately need him to be right.
He's tough as nails. He's not going to stay down for too long.
And he does get up. So the Sharks, with a better touch finder on that occasion, they'll add a few more metres to the start of their set. 4-0, favour of the Sharks. Jamberoo. Lefteroo missed opportunities. Yulakita with a try-saver, and Barnard going into touch when it looked like he might have got there, but the tail of the tape will certainly tell us. And that's almost a good ball from Samu, but it was well done by Maslenka to wrap up the ball. Peels for a penalty, full on deaf ears. Carroll goes towards the middle. Kavanagh there. Clune. There in the 12 jersey, it's Wade Aiken. And he's hurt.
Oh, Wade Aiken. It looks like his knee hasn't moved, has he?
That's not a good sign.
He's clutching his right knee there, and he's been really good on that right edge for them. So if he can't continue, that's a big hole in that right edge, but I'm sure they've got players to replace him. You'd have to think someone will probably slide in there. Zablosky, maybe even Ava Talla could slide in that back row.
They do have options, and I guess that's the hallmark of the good sides, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you think like teams this time of year of 1 to 17 are just so deep, and yeah, I think they'll be. They've got plenty of options, but look at how good has Javeli Samui been to start the game. Like he's been fantastic. Him and Clune have probably been the two best for Shellharbour, but the runs is through the middle, and him and Kavanagh haven't had a break yet. Like Kavanagh will probably play the full 80, but for Javeli to play the first 29 minutes without a break, and it doesn't look like he's going to get a break anytime soon. Like he's just a man mountain through that middle, isn't he?
And you need to be able to play big minutes in finals, because I know that certainly the coach often wants his best players to be playing as much as they can.
Sure.
I know it's more man management throughout the season as that kick is driven low and it just sits up on its points, and that's exactly where they want Jamberoo to start their set, do the Sharks. And Fielder played 15 metres out. And now Barnard.
It looks like Wade Aiken's back up, and he's back in the defensive line, shook off that injury to the knee, and yeah, no substitution there. Jimmy Asquith still hasn't got on for the Superoos. He's been waiting for about 5 minutes to try and get on there for Brock Skelly, but just can't get a break in the play.
And Skelly, I'm sure, will want to stay on. So the Superoos, 12 short of halfway, 10.5 to go until half-time of the grand final qualifier. Well, Asquith almost got in Skelly's road, and Skelly inside the 40. That ball, it's bouncing round, and it's well done there. Big effort by McAlone to get there, and he runs across field into 2 tacklers.
Ava Taylor is now on for Shellharbour, and just trying to figure out who's come off. Oh, it is Samu's come off now. Javelli, after that big stint, we just gave him wraps. Pretty good job in the engine room. 30 big minutes there, and yeah, it looks like Atala's probably going to play through the middle. Wow. That's a big error on the scheme of things. You think 9 minutes to go before half-time, and the Superoos got a chance to score their first points and level it up.
Yeah, sloppy out of dummy half. Just had a look up at the defence and fumbled the ball. You don't want to be giving a side like Jamberoo golden opportunity. Centre field scrum. 30 metres out. Dallas to feed. He balks and then he goes again and goes to field. Field turning it inside, and Clark there makes some good post-contact metres. He'll play at 25 metres out. Pearce trundling forward.
Your boy's been good since he's been on.
Providing some spark. Asquith. A good tackle coming in.
That was Atala. That's his first impact on the game. Just come on for the Sharks.
So Skelly short there to Stone. Stone going nowhere. Bit of a nothing play for the Superoos, so they chew that up, that opportunity. Dallas. Short ball to Gilmore, looking to barge his way over. Last tackle. Open side, Skelly, long ball there to Dallas. Dallas goes for his crossfield kick. He wants his winger. He wants Barnard to jump, but he didn't jump. And it was the Sharks uncontested that come up with the football.
Well, Barnard was probably expected to go up there, but geez, Jai Brooker flew above them all and sort of did an AFL mark there, didn't he? And that was great to defuse that. And here's your mate. Fast boots.
That's it. Fast boots there for Ramo. Not very original, is it? 15.
We've got better ones. I'm sure he's chuffed with the nickname as well.
Absolutely. I'm sure he won't mind if he can make use of those fast boots at some point in this game. As now they go out that way. But Carroll sees the winger up, and Kapan, he races back there and picks up the football and runs straight at Carroll. And Carroll one-on-one trying to maybe get a strip, and Kapan just trying to milk a penalty, and he'll be told to play.
Skelly's finally come off, and obviously Jimmy Asquith's come on for a stint at the 9, and he'll add a bit of spark there, a bit of speed out of dummy half as well.
So Asquith tried to catch them napping down the short side. Now Maslanka. Big, rangy centre is Simon Maslanka. Hard to handle. I know Matt Winchester had a tough time last week. That was a great battle. Another great battle today between him and Effaramo. So now Field. Cut out ball there. Dallas goes short to Grigg. Offload to Clark. Clark looking to get away from 1-2. He's flirting with the touchline, and he stays in. Fifth and last here for Jamberoo. 6 minutes 40 until half-time. Slow play the ball. Now Dallas. This time he chips it over the top, but it's a horrible kick. And Yul Lakita, he won't have any tougher kicks, I think, to defuse this afternoon.
No, he's been fantastic. Safe as houses back there, and anything they throw at him. And he's a great run by the man we were just talking about.
It makes a good 15 metres and loses the ball. Big play by the Superoos, and who else? Maslanka.
You put the commentator's curse on him there a bit, Hammer.
Well, I gave Maslanka a rap.
No,
Tam.
Tam. Don't try and defuse that. You're going to palm that off to me, are you?
Luke Asquith with the ball. We'll let that one through to the keeper. 20 metres out. James Asquith on now in that rake position. Now Field. Field gets away from one, but can't get away from the other. And now the Sharks defending for their lives here. Short ball, short side. Looking to get over. A metre short.
Big chance here for the Superoos. Oh.
Well, Dallas He was in the pocket. He puts it across. Kapan getting up, but a good take from Ephraimo. Magnificent take. He leapt from the field of play.
Yeah.
It'll be a goal line dropout.
Great, courageous take there by Ephraimo, because you could see that Kapan was going to jump and put his body on the line. Didn't worry about that. I just eyes for the ball and said, "No, I'm just going to get this footy."
So they keep plugging away. The Superoos with the lion's share of possession and territory in this first half, but it's 4-0 the Sharks. Withstanding the heat at the moment. Carroll gets 40 metres. Kieran Pearce winds up. He'll play it 27 metres out. Asquith now. Front foot ball. He throws an offload out the back. James Asquith now. He passes it. And now it's Stone. Stepping, weaving, beating tackle Stone. Looking for a try. He's sniffed out a few this season. 2 metres out. 4 minutes 24 until the break. Field steps inside one. Goes through another tackle. Field's only 2 metres away.
They've got to come this way. They've got an overlap here.
And looking for a quick play the ball. Again, trying to milk the penalty. Dummy from Asquith. He barges over. They're finally in. Luke Asquith, almost out of nothing, levels the scores. Kick to come. 3 minutes, 55 left until the break.
Well, it looked like they went the wrong way there, and Juki Asquith scored out of nothing, really. Just beat two defenders on, just dived over, and yeah, it showed why he's in the conversation, really the best player in the competition. He's probably my pick for the Cronin medal this year. He's had a fantastic year, finished in the top 3 in the voting last year, and I just think with the way that he's sort of exerted himself, as him and Cavan are probably the 2 premier locks in the competition. The work rate he gets through in the middle, not like the biggest body out there, but he just never gives an inch, and great ball player, and he created something out of nothing there, and it looks like the Superoos are going into the break 6-4 up once Kurt Field probably slots a pretty easy conversion by his standards.
Yep, he's about 10 metres to the left of the uprights at the western end. What an important kick it is in the grand scheme of things. Finals football, every point counts just that little bit more. Kurt Field, he's been reliable with the boot since taking over the duties from Dean Watling, who's done most of the kicking, but he's not starting today, and Kurt Field slots that one straight between the uprights, 6-4. The Superoos leading in the shadows of half-time.
Do you think it's a well-deserved lead?
Look, I think on the weight of possession and territory, the Superoos really should be leading, and perhaps by more, but the Sharks have done magnificently to only be 2 points behind, because they haven't had too much ball at the right end of the field.
No, apart from probably that first 5 to 10 minutes where the Sharks would camp down the Jamberoo end, it's probably the Jamberoos had them running the play, and like you said, to be only down by 2, it's probably a good effort going into half-time for the Sharks, and I don't think Atala would be too upset with that.
No, I think he'd be rather pleased. The defence has been pretty solid, barring that one little slip-up. Luke Asquith making the most. Now Gilmore, as they go to the northern end of the field here. The Superoos looking to get through to half-time error and mistake-free, and that is a terrible, terrible play, and it was the try scorer.
No, that was Corey Grigg.
Was it Grigg?
I think it was Corey Grigg, but wasn't needed there. I think he had plenty of time to catch and pass. That didn't need that tap on, and
now he gives the Sharks a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. You think it was just over a minute left, and the Sharks, they'll probably work it down to at least get a chance to score here, you'd think. And yeah, you really want to, because they just scored, you really want to get to that kick. And you talked about that perfect way to have a 6 after points. That was not it.
Carroll. Ulakita was there. He was looming, but Carroll took it himself. And he'll play it just into the Superoos half. So 45 seconds left. Atala plays it. Carroll, he's got Clune out the back, but again, he dies with the football. Big chance here. Tranda now goes to Clune, and Clune a run around. He gets the ball back. They're 22 metres away, are the Sharks. A couple of plays left at most, you'd think. 11 metres out.
Of course,
Ryan to play it.
I think it looks like they're coming to the left.
Carroll needs to come up with something, and he may here. No, the Superoos get there, and that'll take us to half-time.
Jake Clark came from nowhere to save. It looked like Tamulakai was going to score there, but Jake Clark's, I think he's only been best on ground so far, and then that epitomised that, where that courageous, that was just a desperation play to sort of stop them scoring. And yeah, I think Jamberoo going with a well-deserved 6-4 lead. Don't you reckon, Hammer?
It's been a great game of football, and certainly I think the Sharks will be happy that they're only trailing 6-4. Jamberoo had a lot of the ball. Don't go anywhere. We've got all the second half action coming up. And what a second 40 we're in store for. It is Jamberoo leading Shellharbour by 6 points to 4. A break and back with all the second half action. Welcome back to Ron Costello Oval. Finals action, a grand final qualifier between the Shellharbour Sharks and the Jamberoo Superoos. At the moment, it is Jamberoo on top, 6-4. The conversion, all that's separating the sides in what was a thrilling first half of football, Courtney Ward.
Oh, absolutely. What do you think John O'Dell's was saying to his troops? Because I'd like to see Kurt Field probably get a little bit more involved. Obviously, Mark Ask was heavily involved in that sweeping, but I think Kurt Field can add another dimension to their attack. So if he can get a bit more involved, but apart from that, their defence has been pretty good. They've created some chances. Probably should be up by more than 2, but do you reckon Dallas is happy so far?
Oh, look, I think both coaches will be reasonably pleased. I'm sure they'll nitpick at things that they can improve, but it's really had a finals intensity to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So we are set for the second 40 minutes away of finding out our first grand finalist of 2019. Shellharbour looking to go back-to-back. Jamberoo looking for a second title in 3 years. That was an absolute shank off the boot of Field, and it's Carroll who picks up the pieces and gets through. Matt Carroll, how did he do that? He tries to go around Field, and he's up to halfway. Big play from the skipper right after half-time.
Well, that's not a great start by the Superoos, isn't that? Those quick feet by Carroll just saw him break through. If it wasn't for Kurt Field, it could have been some points early, and all that good work by Carroll's just been undone there, and an early error. Like, I bet Atala would not be happy whatsoever.
I don't think either side would be too pleased with that opening.
No, you talk about their finals intensity, about how really completion's been pretty good. Obviously, there's the odd penalty, but all that's gone out the window. And Shellharbour got the feed there. I thought it was a knock-on, and they've just...
Ramo. Well, he's put it on the boot, but that's a knock-on.
Okay, if Atala wasn't happy before, he'd be furious now. What's doing there? On the first play, they're just throwing it away, Corey.
They certainly have. So, we just take our breath and we compose ourselves after that bizarre start. It all had it all, and we've only had a minute 15 in the second half. Now the Jamberoo Superoos with the ball. Pearce going again.
Great leg drive there by Pearce.
He's like the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps on going.
Well, speaking of Energizer Bunny, I was just about to wrap Kyle Stone. He's been fantastic for him this year and had a great stint on the field so far. I think he's probably better suited to on the edge, but he's just as effective through the middle.
So, the Superoos into the Sharks' half.
Great run by Juki Asquith, hooking up from a pass from his brother. How long do you think Brock Skelly will spend on the bench for the Superoos? Do you think he'll probably come on with about 25 to go?
Lost ball there. Lost ball. Yep, lost the handle on it, did Kyle Stone.
I just wrapped him. That's the commentator's curse.
Yeah, look, I think they need to inject Skelly at some point. He definitely gives them a lot of energy out of that that dummy half position. All due respect to James Asquith, but he does an admirable job coming off the bench. But I think Skelly gives them that little bit of X factor.
Oh, absolutely. I think
in and around the ruck.
Yeah, Jimmy Asquith's obviously a very serviceable hooker, and it's great to sort of have that that 1-2 punch coming out of 9. But I think you probably want the last 25 to be Brock Skelly. So if you can get 30 minutes out of the total for the game by Jimmy Asquith and you get 50 out of Brock Skelly, that's probably the balance you want. And it looks like Maxi Wolfson's going to be coming back, and Wade Aiken is just in the wars, isn't he? That looks like that knee hurt in the first half's giving him some trouble, and he's really favourite limping off now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got the strapping on it, and he's obviously succumbed. He's succumbed to the injury, and as you said, Wolfson ready to enter the action once again.
We probably think you just no point risking him now. They get through and win. He has 2 weeks off to recover. Otherwise, there's still a game next week. So it's not do or die. So I think they've probably made the right decision to bring Wade Aiken off.
Yeah, I think they've pulled the right rein. Effarema now. That running battle out there with Maslanka, but it was actually Asquith with the tackle, defending wide. And a big run, massive run by Samu. So they rumble forward. The Sharks trailing by 2. Clune turns it on the inside.
Wilson.
35 metres out. Wilson plays it.
It's a great run by Sablovsky there.
So now they go to the short side. Carroll again, putting Kapan under the microscope, and
It was actually Field that caught it, but it was a very casual take, but he just got absolutely nailed by the great chase there by the outside backs for the Sharks, and they get a repeat set here.
4 minutes gone in the second half. Positive start by the Sharks.
Great chance here for them to regain the lead, and big kick there. It was actually Corey Grigg who hit that one.
So Atala finally picks it up. He almost gets through.
Well, he nearly goes out as well. Like, it was a bit of high risk, high reward. He was waiting for someone to come on the inside of that left mid.
So Effaramo.
You just want to see him see some space and get those fast boots going, don't you?
I certainly do. I certainly do. Now the Sharks. They sense a chance. They're circling here. Short side they go. Carroll sweeping there. And they go to Effaramo. Effaramo, he gets it back to Ulakita, who dies with the football 10 metres out. Here come the Sharks. Sablovsky.
Gone close there.
Inches away.
Oh.
Carroll had to reach for it. The ball's still alive here. They roll it towards the end goal, but it comes up trumps for Jamberoo.
Benny Barnard read that perfectly because, Brooker and DJ Harris were flying through, and if it wasn't for Barnard reading that perfectly, I think it was nearly try time for the outside backs for the Sharks.
Oh, the dummy from Dallas, who saw a yawning gap. It quickly closed, and they roped him in. It was a good tackle coming in from Wilson.
Great tackle there by, it looks like Sablovsky.
And he's forced the error.
He's lost it.
Sablovsky forcing the error. And the Superoos have made a horrible start to the second half.
Yeah, and they've presented the Sharks with a golden opportunity to sort of regain the lead. But, the Superoos defence hasn't let them down so far. They've only let the one try in, which is obviously great defence. But I think they'll prove it again on this instance.
Yeah, big opportunity as Carroll cuts out to Effaramo, getting on the outside of Maslanka, fending away, cutting back on the inside. Effaramo almost through.
Has that been the matchup of the day? Maslanka versus Dante on that edge?
Certainly been my favourite. Kavanagh playing at the line. Oh, what a hit.
Corey Grigg absolutely lined him up there.
Atala feeling the full brunt of Corey Grigg.
And Grigg's there again. He's getting involved because he didn't do too much in the first half, and I think that was probably a message from John O'Dallas. We need more from you, Corey Grigg. Obviously, a under-23 CRL rep last year, went overseas to play, and he's a fantastic player. Oh, Carroll to
Ulakita through a yawning gap. Try time to the Sharks, and they hit back in the best possible way to start the second half.
That was too easy, wasn't it? You could see it coming, and Carroll just held it up, and Tam just went through the gap with the E. I don't think he even got touched then, and Sharks score their second try, and that comes off the back of, obviously, an error by Ben Barnard coming out of his own end. So that's probably the message from John O'Dowd. Say, let's just complete our sets and put the pressure on the Sharks instead of putting pressure on ourselves.
Yeah, they've looked much more composed, and a nice bit of interchange of passing, and Carroll to Ulakita.
That was nearly too easy. You could see it coming off a mile off, and there's nothing the Superoos could really do. And you'd expect Carroll to throw this over from here, and we've got a 4-point ball game with 32 minutes to go.
Yep, don't go anywhere if you're watching this one. You can see this one going right down to the wire.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a couple of tries still left in this game. Just depends which way, and it looks like I better Taylor saying some words to Jack Kavanagh. Obviously, he's one of the stars for the Shellharbour side, and he just gets through a mountain of work. Like, hits as hard as anyone, and obviously his carries when the team needs it are inspirational and realistically some of the best in the competition.
So Carroll, 15 metres to the southern end of the left-hand posts. He strikes it. He likes it.
He's really darting the kicks today. Usually he's a very clean hitter of the ball, I think because of the wind out there. But I would have thought the wind's probably dropped a little bit, Hammer, since the first half.
Yeah, he has, but the radar was working on that occasion like a tracer bullet through the air.
It looks like Brock Skelly's coming on earlier than we probably thought. Jimmy Asquith might only last it to the 30, and then you get 30 big minutes out of Brock Skelly to finish the game. They probably think, now we're behind, we really need that creativity coming out of dummy half.
Now Atala for the Sharks, 25 out from his own line. Well, that's going to be 6 again. That was touched, and now it's the try scorer, Ulakita, with the ball. A fresh set here for the Sharks, who've started with all the momentum in the second half. And looking dangerous. So Kavanagh. They go short side. Clune and Dallas thought he had the intercept.
I think Dallas nearly thought he did as well, and Clune probably pushed that pass a little well, and yeah, Dallas nearly. That would have been it would change the whole complexion of the game. And it looks like Grigg, he's really nursing that right arm there, it looks like, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's struggling. We've already seen Aitken go off for the Sharks. Could we see another back rower succumb to injury? Corey Grigg, what about that hit on Atala?
The only one that rivals it was that first one by Dante in the very first play of the game, where he just absolutely lined them up, and yeah, it's some of the bigger hitters in the game for sure.
That'll make the best hits album. So now, DJ Harris.
You set yourself up for that one, didn't you? So Taylor's off, and it looks like Nick Greenhouse come on now, and you usually plays in the halves, but I think you'll probably see him floating around in the middle of the park. You'll probably see him in transfer play 9-13, 13-9. So, and you don't lose too much side. Like Clune will probably still tackle in the middle as well.
Yep, and here is Speak of the Devil, Clune. Harris stands up almost. Clark, who did well off the standing start, to catch up to his opposite. 29 metres out. The Sharks looking to go back-to-back in the try-scoring department. Wolfson plays it. It was a quick play, the ball. Room service for Carroll. Horrible ball.
No.
Here goes Kapan. Kapan, it's a foot race. And what about Ulakita again with another important tackle?
He's had 2 ball and all tackles, and is it
a penalty as well?
I'm surprised you probably don't see a... Oh, it is. I was going to say, I'm surprised you don't see the 10, because that's an automatic holding down. And Jack Kavanagh, that's a huge play. Obviously, he's one of their better players. And, yeah, Jack Kavanagh.
10 minutes, you talked about his discipline. And it costs him, and it costs the Sharks. Will it cost them on the scoreboard?
So now the Superoos go on the attack, and they also got the man advantage. And yet, looks like Brock Skelly's waiting to come on for Jimmy Asquith. So you probably see this will be Jimmy Asquith's last attacking raid.
Mark that down as a big moment of this game. 35 metres out, the Superoos. Asquith. All thought about the offload. Took it to ground, 25 metres out, centre of the park. Right, left they go to Dallas. Dallas takes it straight to the line. He sets it up on the inside there. And it's Corey Grigg, 9 metres out. James Asquith. Well, he has 4 players down the blind. He goes open instead. Dallas shows it on his inside. Eventually, he gives it there to Kapan. And Kapan, now the play goes on. Asquith out to Dallas. Back out to Mark Asquith. He throws the dummy. He almost goes through. He's going to get there. Is he? No, he's a metre short.
His leg drive there was just fantastic. Should have been brought down on the 10, and now they're going to the left with Dallas.
Dallas, a little jink. Then he gives it to Skelly, and
time.
Skelly scores.
You talk about instant impact. He's only just come on.
Brock Skelly, as they make the most of being a man up.
Yeah, and obviously a former Shark scores at his former home ground, and he's literally been on the field less than a minute there, Corey, coming on for Jimmy Asquith, and there's a yawning gap. You could see as soon as he got it, he was just going to dive over there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly had no thoughts of going to his outside.
He's actually come on, I think, as in the back row, because Jimmy Asquith's still actually out there at 9, so Skelly's going to have a bit of a stint in the back row, it would seem, because obviously Jukey Asquith's still there at 13, so I think Yeah, Skelly's probably playing the 12, mainly because I think we looked at, is Corey Grigg is still out there. So, yeah, I think you'll find Skelly's playing the back row there.
So...
And Field going to convert. Like, he was hitting him as swear as anything last week against Gerringong, and obviously now to put his team back up by 2.
Yep, Field. Certainly no gimme, but you'd expect a kicker of his calibre to put this one over. And all-important kick as he tries to put his side back in front. He's about 10 metres to the left of the uprights. The strike's good, the direction. Spot on from Kurt Field. And Jamberoo back in front in the grand final qualifier.
Hit that sweetly, and yeah, there's still 8 minutes to go with a man advantage, so you'd probably expect Jamberoo to really pepper that line again. So they've obviously got one try, but with the man advantage going into that last 20 minutes or so, like you'd really expect to maybe, if they can get out to at least a converted try, if not more, John O'Dallas will be really happy with that.
Absolutely.
But it's up to the Sharks now to step up. Obviously, they're a man down. Everyone's just got to dig that little bit deeper and wait for Kavanagh to come on. And I expect Kavanagh to want to rip and tear once he gets back on the field.
So Asquith leading the charge for the Superoos with their tails up and a man up. As Kavanagh cools his heels. He sits and he waits. And I'm sure he's probably looking to make amends when he gets out there. But at the moment, it's all the Superoos. And a good run there from Asquith out of dummy half. Fifth and last. So Skelly, he goes there to acting half. And the ball drilled low by Kurt Field. And now it's Ulakita.
Oh, Pierce whacked him there. That's a great chase by the Superoos there.
Ulakita to play it. Efaremo, he's been one of the best for the Sharks today, and he makes another 11 or 12 metres. So now they go straight out the middle and running at Dallas. No doubt a ploy to try and work him overtime. Carroll looking for the 40-20, but he doesn't have the direction. Yeah. Field, he was up in the line. He saw it. He has to go all the way back to his own in goal. And they will make a good tackle as they drive him back towards the end goal.
He was caught out of position there, Kurt Field, wasn't he?
He certainly was. Barnard now with the ball. 9 metres out from their own line.
It looks like Brendan Smith's about to come back on for his second stint with the Superoos. They've been called back for a second play there. But, yeah, it looks like... And who's getting some attention out there? Brock Skelly's getting some attention out there by the trainers as well.
Jamberoo... Well, being made to work. That perfect kick from Carroll. And Asquith almost went straight through there. Oh, now...
What a run by Maslanka.
Maslanka almost up to halfway. Tangled up in the play the ball. Now Dallas under some pressure. Great kick pressure there. This one bounces favourably for the Sharks. And it's Brooker. Brooker making some good metres. There's a broken line from the Superoos. And he makes full advantage.
There's a great kick return by Brooker. But that's all set up by trainers. Kick pressure on, obviously, John O'Dallas. John O'Dallas probably had that split second less than he'd like to put on the kick. And, yeah... They took full advantage, and now they're on the attack here.
Wilson bouncing out of one, steps away from another, and he's only 35 metres out. The Sharks are man down, but they're pressing. They want more points. They trail by 2. 20 metres out. Now they're in the 14 of Greenhall. And now they work it out to the right. They'll die with a football. The ball lost, but a penalty stripped out.
That's a killer on the 4th or 5th tackle, and now they get...
Is it too far wide to take the 2? Take some time off the board, level the scores.
I think if you're Carroll, you go for the 2, but Carroll's not even close to there, so I think they're going for the tap.
Yeah, he's not interested. Wants none of it. Wilson now.
Would you have gone for the 2 there, considering they got a man in the bin?
I probably would have if I knew my goal kicker was reliable, which Matt Carroll certainly fits that bill. Anyway, play on. Clune. Out the back, Carroll. Looking to score a try, and Ulakita wrapped up in a ball and all tackle that needed to be made. It was a big one by Kapan. Now they rumble forward. The Sharks. Can they hit back? Can they take back the lead? Wide ball. Clune shows it. Goes himself, Clune. Looking to go over, but can't. He's only a metre short. The Sharks, they go back to the open side. The dummy in the step from Greenhall. And almost got out of the tackle.
Skilly
5th and last.
Nailed
they
him.
go left. Now it's with Carroll. He rolls it. He's good looking for the end goal.
Cole Stone.
Yep, Cole Stone. Cole Stone. Courtney Ward's getting excitable.
Looks like our mate Kieran Pearce has just fallen off the back, and Brendan Smith comes back for his second stint in the engine room.
Barnard now. He'll play it. Now Asquith. This is where he's so good, Mark Asquith, when he's looking for a gap. When he's running the ball, he's asking questions. Almost up to halfway. Flat ball there. Very flat ball, and it'll be Smith to play it. As they go up through the middle. Stone. Here he is. Stone with a flick pass out the back. And now Clark throws the dummy. He had Kapan unmarked. He took the tackle instead. 5th and last. Looking for another try here. Kapan. He's flirting with the touchline. And he'll go down with the ball.
His body's everywhere. That's a great ball. Laces tackle by Matty Carroll. He's still down, and there's a couple of guys around, and looks like Dean Watling's warming up here. And yeah, I think Dean Watling you'll see will come on at some point. I don't know how he probably fits into the back line. Obviously, it looks like Javelli's just come on, and Soblowski is off. So
yep, Samu will be refreshed and ready.
It's
ready
actually Liam Ryan, who's just come off the back.
So Samu on the park for the Sharks. Looking to, no doubt, really lift them.
So who's down out there, Corey? Can you see past the trainer?
Let's have a look.
It's a Sharks player.
Just trying to get a visual on who it might be.
I think it's Jamie McElhone.
I think you're right. It is in the 2 jersey. So McElhone.
It's still only a couple. It's still Kavanagh's still in the bin for a couple of minutes. So, but if they can, the Sharks can only concede the 1 try in that 10 minutes. I think they'll probably take that.
Yeah, I think so.
Still, I think there's 2 or 3 minutes left, and before you see Kavanagh, and I expect him to be. If Shellharbour's going to win it from here, he'll be the X factor. He'll be very upset that he let his team down that way, and he'll want to make amends in the final 15 or so minutes.
Going down to the wire, the final quarter of this one. 12-10. The Roos with a slender lead. Certainly not a match-winning lead by any stretch. Wilson, 15 within halfway. As they go to Samu. In for his first hit-up of his second shift. He gets an offload away. And Ulakita, he's dangerous. He's been good today, but they wrap him up on that occasion. They were waiting for him. Clune's lost it. Clune's lost it.
He had a bit of a look up there, didn't he? And I think they were hoping for a 40-20, and now error by Clune, which is very, very uncharacteristic, gives the Superoos a super chance to sort of extend their lead.
Now Clark. That is the last thing they needed.
Well, it looks like Dean Watling's getting ready to come on, so he'll obviously come on the back line somewhere. It'll be interesting to see how they shape that.
Maslanka, great boots and all tackle from Effarema. Now
Here he comes.
Asquith, Stone.
Jack Kavanagh's coming back on for the Sharks, finishing his stint in the bin.
Hints of maybe a crusher tackle from Carroll there. Now it's Asquith. Turns it on the inside to Luke Asquith. The ball offloaded out the back. Fired out to Dallas. He goes further afield to Kurtfield. And now it's Clark getting a ball away to Stone. And Grigg, in fact. Is it Grigg?
It's Grigg, yeah.
It's Grigg going towards the touchline.
No,
Big defence from the Sharks. A penalty, though.
You could hear the held call. And somehow Shellharbour scrambled to, it looked like a certain try when Jake Clark skipped there and hit Grigg on the inside, but now they get a full set of 6 here on the defence.
Smith.
Wow.
Some big contact coming in from Wolves.
That was a hit and a half, wasn't it?
2 metres out. Asquith awaits. He throws a long ball to Dallas. Dallas goes across field. He picks up Asquith. And now a big shot coming in again at Faramo.
There's your boy, Fast Boots.
They go back to Dallas. Dallas now, well, that was not the plan, I'm sure, as Phil puts in a wicked right foot step and almost goes through.
No high call there, Corey. You play advantage there. Oh, here it is.
Yep, he did play advantage. You're exactly right.
Do you consider the 2 here for? Do you think there's much of a difference between a 2 and a 4?
No. You put the pressure on and make this an 8-point ball game, or certainly try to. Okay, so they do take the tap, and now it's Dallas out to Asquith, who straightens up, and now it's it's Stone. Stone. Look at him, refusing to relent. So Asquith now 2 metres out. Wide ball again. Dallas giving himself plenty of width. Good hands from Maslenka. Ephraimo follows him. He gets an offload away to Kapan, and Kapan is brought down 10 metres out. Now they go back towards the middle. Asquith bumping away. Offload now to Dallas. Dallas to Field. He rolls it into the end goal. Brooker, he picks it up and he'll go dead. It'll be a goal line dropout.
That's a great play by Field. Obviously put it through on his left boot, and then he was the one who chased it down and earns a repeat set. Brooker read it well, but there was 4 chases through. He was never going to get out.
No. So, goal line dropout for the Sharks. 15 and a half minutes left. 12-10 in favour of the Roos. There's been nothing in this all afternoon. Field using his legs to trap the ball. Now Smith.
Good run there.
32 metres out. Left they go, Dallas. Clark running a inside line. He's turned under and some good contact coming in. Now Asquith gets out of acting half with the markers, a little lazy. And now they're trying to work their way towards the line with Stone. Asquith again waiting, 8 metres out. They've stacked the blind side and said they go right. Dallas, short pass, looking to put Smith through a hole.
He only just held on to that.
So they go right again. Quick hands. Asquith looking for another try. He's just short.
Millimetres away there.
Now it's Field. In fact, it was Skelly. Skelly now to Clark. Clark. Clark! He'll score! What a try from Clark!
Barnard.
It's Barnard, was it? Barnard scores.
Wow. He showed and go to Clark and then just ran straight over. Looks like Jai Brooker there, and that is as big a moment we've had in this game. Like, scores right in front of the fans there, and now huge kick coming up for Field.
Massive kick coming up. The Superoos lead by 6, and the conversion to take it out to 8 points with 14 to go. What about the work from Barnard?
I think everyone in the whole stadium thought he'd pass that ball to Clark except him. And then it was just a one-on-one, and Barnard ran straight over Brooker.
I got myself confused. I thought he'd passed to Clark. Unbelievable. But Barnard, in the show of strength, to run over the top of Brooker, get the ball in.
It looks like Benny Barnard, after scoring the try, has come off. And it looks like Dean Watling's going to come on and play on the wing there.
Massive kick here for Kurtfield. Right in front of the commentary box, 23 metres back, right on the touchline, the northern touchline.
And that wind's just completely gone, hasn't it, Corey?
It has.
Still has.
Almost on cue. We will get a good look at this one. Kurt Field. Massive kick. You talk about finals pressure. This could be massive in the context of this one. Jamberoo looking to book a final spot. Field. It's on its way. It's curling. He's got it. Kurt Field nails it from the sideline. And it's the Superoos by 8.
Wow, what a big kick in the context of the game. Up by 8 with just over 12 to go. So now that you think the hosts are going to be chasing points, short kickoff, or you still just go for a long kickoff here?
Oh, too early to be going short, I think. They go high. It is a shallow one, but it's not shallow enough.
No.
So the Superoos come up with it. They'll start their set 25 out from their own line. So Skelly out of 1. It's the Sharks, maybe. A hint of them tiring, perhaps. Stone. He's been big since coming off the bench. Now Smith. Already into the Sharks' half. A couple of tackles still up the sleeve. And that'll be the last. Dallas gets into position. But it's instead Field.
Wow.
He goes high. Ulakita didn't want a bar of it. It bounces back for Kapan. And it's got a touch.
Do you think that was played at?
It certainly was played at.
By Jamie McElhone.
Without a shadow of a doubt, it was played at.
Ulakai looked like he's going to catch it, and then the last moment lets it bounce. As a fullback, you can't let that bounce. As shown, Kapan came through, and now the Superoos have an attacking set on their 10-metre line, and if they score here, all over Red Rover.
Yep, this is a massive set for the Sharks.
And it looks like Webster's about to come on. And I think you'll probably see maybe Kyle Stone, who has had a huge stint in the middle, probably come off, and they go on the short side.
Dallas, Maslanka for the corner.
He
goes into touch, big play, and it'll be out to the 20 for 7 tackles. So that just bemuses me.
Do you think that's the right option there? Going short side?
I think it's the right option. It was a terrible option. Terrible option.
I have to agree. I think when you've got 6 tackles on their line, I just think you've got to use all that, try and get a repeat set and not go for the Hail Mary play on the first tackle.
Kavanagh now 25 metres out. Well, the Sharks get a massive reprieve. Well, surely that's a penalty.
Yeah, it looks like Nick Greenhouse has come off and Matty Coltman's come back on into the middle.
Well, that's taken the momentum away from the Sharks, that time off call. That'll still be tackle 0. Samu. Look at them. 4 of them in there to bring him down. Important hit up. 12 short of halfway. Again, slowing the play of the ball down the Superoos. So now the Sharks look for an answer. And that's a determined run by Coltman. Kavanagh again. Well, that was a horrible play, the ball, and rightfully pulled up.
And that's sort of been epitomising Shellharbour. They've had some uncharacteristic errors. Obviously there, you had Sammy Clune drop that cold just in front of us, and some of those errors are going to come back and bite them. Because you need in a finals game, you need to be completing over 80%, and probably neither side's done that. But I think Jamberoo is probably completing at just a higher clip.
So 9 minutes left. The margin is 8. The Roos with 1 foot in the decider. Smith again. He stands and he's told to play it. Skelly waiting.
So Jimmy Asquith's just come off and Webster's gone on. So you'll see Brock Skelly slot back into the 9 now.
Yeah, it looks like he's already gone there. He's certainly been at dummy half the start of this set. Asquith. Dallas barking orders. Skelly looked up and Dallas didn't look like he was quite ready for it. Wolfson with a tackle on Watling that might have caught the eye of the referee, but play on is the call. Ulakita. A voluntary tackle of sorts. Saw the defenders in front of him and he didn't want a bar of it. Now Brooker. Driven backwards. So as it stands, the Sharks will play Kiama next week. Unless there's some sort of, we won't say miracle yet, Courtney Wood,
no.
But it's getting very close to that territory, isn't it?
Absolutely, and the Sharks don't even look like scoring points. I think the last 15 minutes has been all Superoos, and when you look high scored, you probably thought, is this going to be Shellharbour's day? They hit the lead, and no, but since then, the turning point's probably that's sent in the bin for Jack Kavanagh, because after that, it's just been Superoos.
Yeah, they had to do defending. They conceded a try.
Yep.
And then from there, the momentum, well, that's forward. Well, that surely had to be called back. The touch judge is asleep at the wheel there. But play on is the call. Kavanagh. Oh, I thought he might have got away, but he got an offload in any event, and now it goes to Carroll. And Carroll, he's had his pocket pick, but there were two in the tackle. Two in the tackle.
This is their chance.
Well, that's a crucial penalty to be giving away. There was no need. Superoos. Well, this is not going to go out, is it? Yes, it is.
Kapala looked like he was going to get that, didn't he?
He was under it. He was sizing it up, and it just got big on him at the end. So play on here now for the Sharks.
You'd have to think they have to score here, wouldn't you, Hammer?
Very close to. They try to barge their way over, and they may have just done it just short.
Oh, it wasn't
just
much in
short
that.
from Coltman.
They're on here. They're on here.
Harris should score. No, what a tackle coming in.
Dean
Watling. Dean Watling with an absolute try-saving tackle.
They looked for all money to score there. That quick hands from Clune to Harris to Brooker. And it's very rare that you don't see Brooker score in that instance. But, yeah, Watling got underneath him and just took him out of bounds. And, yeah, that's another big play. You think if they score there, it's a grandstand finish. But now, yeah, Shellharbour's going to have to try and get another points in a hurry with Jamberoo working out of their own end.
John O'Dallas to feed the scrum. They'll look to play down time now, the men from Jamberoo. They have this one in the bag, you would think. Stranger things have happened. There's still 5 minutes left, but they look in complete control, to be honest. And on balance, they've certainly been the better side over the first 75 minutes at least. Hit of a high one, Watling.
Didn't phase him, though.
Now Skelly inside the 40 and straight down to Ulakita, who was positioned perfectly. He needs to spark something. They're running out of time. 4 minutes 30 left, the Sharks. With the ball now. It's McAlone. McAlone will play it 10 short of halfway. They go out to the right edge. Wolfson bouncing away from one tackle.
Oh, here we go.
And Wolfson will play it on halfway.
Corey Griggs out. Oh, no, he's up.
So Harris, what about that tackle from John O'Dallas?
He's lost it.
And he's lost the ball. Well,
wow.
That just typifies Jamberoo's day. That typifies the Sharks' day. Dallas coming up with the right play at the right time.
Especially the second half. Like the last 25 minutes has been a masterclass by the Superoos. You think not many errors, some great tackles, and some just great plays. Obviously, Benny Barnard's try, Brock Skelly's try, but yeah, and then Dean Watling and John O'Dallas both did some great covering tackles there. So yeah, it looks like bar a miracle now. You can go on the record and say that. They're going the short side again. And
well, they're looking to play football. Clark.
Oh, there's a great tackle there by Clune. Looked like Clark was about to skip away.
So Skelly, short. And an offload away. Asquith to Dallas. He calls Smith under. He instead goes out wide to Maslanka. And I tell you what, he gets away from Effaramo. It's been a good battle out there, and Effaramo comes again with some help. But it's a penalty back here. No advantage. A player taken out after he passed it. They'll take the 2. They'll suck some time off the clock.
Who hit Dallas there? It was a late one, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and I just wonder whether there might be the temptation to send a play to the bin here. It was certainly foul play.
Well, that's what they're calling for. I think they're going. I think the touchy's not coming in.
It's really irrelevant whether he gets 10 in the bin or not. This game is a foregone conclusion. But it could have implications in terms of potential suspensions, perhaps.
Oh, he is calling for the touchy to come in, and you think Kurtfield will slot this, make it 20-10, but like you said, there could be some implications if we do see a sin binning or something else, and then maybe a possible suspension.
Yeah.
So who are they calling out here?
Well, I think that's maybe what they're trying to ascertain here as to who was the guilty party.
It looks like, is it Kavanagh again?
It is Kavanagh. So the Firebrands, will he be sent to the sin bin again?
He could be in...
He's getting a talking to.
Could be in trouble here. No. Oh.
No, so just a talking to. Not even so much as a sighting. So
do you think there was anything that was worthy of another sin bin?
Well, look, to be honest, I missed it. I was following the play, so we don't have the benefit of the replay here. But I guess if they feel he has a case to answer, they can bring it forward. But look, maybe penalty sufficient.
I think probably penalty sufficient. I know that he's already been in the bin for 10, Kavanagh, but I think it's just a penalty, and you'll see Field to wind down the clock here, and like we said, make it 20-10. It'll probably be just over a minute left once they restart the game, if they restart the game.
So Field 25 out.
The Dallas is still a bit shaken up, and I think anyone would be getting hit by Kavanagh like that.
I'd be taking him off. With a grand final at stake, or certainly they're in the grand final, and Kurt Field just nails another.
He hasn't. I think he's missed a kick the last 2 weeks. He's been on song with the boot.
He's been very impressive, and it's been a big factor in their success, the goal kicking. It may seem strange to say, but often you see games decided on conversions and lack thereof. So, yeah, John O'Dallas staying on. I tell you what, I know he's the coach, so it's his call, but I'd be half tempted to get himself off. I think if there was a non-playing coach there, and that happened to John O'Dallas, he would be off the field.
He's as tough as they come. Like, you think he's one of the smaller players out there, but
wrap yourself up in cotton wool. There's a grand final to play.
But
anyway,
they've got 2 weeks to rest now, I think. So that's probably why he's thinking, let's get through this next a minute 17, and then we'll be playing at Collies in 2 weeks' time.
It'll be exciting. Whoever they play. Will it be these two sides again, or will Kiama spoil the party for the Sharks? I tell you what, there's something brewing down there. They've won 7 in a row, and I think they will fancy their chances against the Sharks. I had actually Shellharbour and Kiama as my tips to make the grand final going into the final series, but that's obviously blown out of the water, and that kicks out on the full. So the Sharks will get one last chance.
So my tip's still alive. At the start of the season, I said it'd be a Jamberoo Kiama grand final. I always said the top 3 would be these 2 in front of us and Kiama, and that is the final 3. But yeah, I think I'm going to stay with that. I think Kiama's got a weight of momentum. Obviously, they won their final 5 games of the regular season, and now they've won the last 2 finals. Obviously, they beat Warilla very handily last week.
I remember a couple of weeks ago, you weren't convinced about Kiama.
No,
so you're back on the bandwagon.
Well, I just thought that I wasn't quite convinced that all things were clicking, but they got all the players back and a couple of positional,
So there's the siren. Samu, nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And he's been shepherded. He's been goaded towards the sideline. That's it. Jamberoo into their second grand final in 3 years. And the Sharks, well, they'll be made to sweat it out and slug it out next week against Kiama in the preliminary final. The final score here, Jamberoo 20, Shellharbour Sharks 10.
Yeah, it was a great game of footy, especially in the real arm wrestle. Like, there was only, 6-4 at half-time, only one try each, and I still think that turning point was Jack Kavanagh getting sin-binned. It was just after the Sharks had actually just scored points and were in the front. But then Skelly scored straight away, and then Barnard scored the match winner, really. And, yeah, now the Superoos are in the final, and, yeah, Kiama versus Shellharbour for the other spot at Rarilla next Sunday.
Yeah, that will be an absolute belter. Courtney Ward, your man of the match?
I'm thinking, I really, really liked, especially Jay Clark in the first half. I thought he was fantastic. I really liked Skelly. It's hard to go past. Dookie Asquith got through a mountain of work in the middle. I did really like Jay Clark, but I think nearly Brock Skelly's probably the one. What do you think, Hammer?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think as well. Like you said, I think Brock Skelly was outstanding. Luke Asquith,
I thought
he was very good.
You mentioned Luke Asquith. What, Mark Asquith?
Mark Asquith as well was solid. John O'Dallas as well solid. And I think also Simon Maslanka had what a battle that was with Dante Efarama. I'm going to sit on the fence on that one. You've given out your man of the match. I'm happy with that.
I'll go Brock Skelly. I think you just saw, he obviously had a stint on the bench, but when he came back on, he scored straight away. And the versatility play, obviously, in the forwards, but also as hooker, he adds a huge dimension to that side. I thought Kurt Fear was fantastic at the back as well. Obviously, two Shellharbour former players. But yeah, I think Brock Skelly was the difference today.
Courtney Ward, thank you very much for your company. Kiama taking on the Shellharbour Sharks in next week's preliminary final. The winner to take on Jamberoo in the grand final after the Superoos win today. Look forward to your company in the next fortnight of action as we wind down to the big day.